Oh, hi guys, this video is so hard. I've tried a couple of times and without like a script, there's so much to say on these bags that I kept repeating myself or forgetting a point and then thinking, oh, jumping from that topic to that topic, it's doing my head in. So I'm just going to try again and hope that I get all the information in, because this is like a fact-based video that I'm doing to try and help people who are in a dilemma between the single flat bag and the double flat bag when it comes to the Chanel Jumbo specifically. So I'm going to try and keep it sweet and give you the facts and then do the chat at the end, which I wasn't doing in my previous version of this video. So the first one I got in 2009 is this bad boy. It is a single flap jumbo with silver hardware and it's caviar. There it is. Side and the back. So this has had like 5 years of good use. And then in January of this year, my husband treated me to this one as a gift for having our daughter. So it is the same size, but it's in lambskin and the hardware is gold. And the other difference is that this is the double flap. Okay, so before I show you visually, I will sort of go through the facts of the main differences as I see it. So the first thing is weight. The single flap, and again these aren't really very accurate, but we all know this bag, but I'm just going to rehash. Dimensions, we're roughly looking at 12 inches across, excuse me, I'm looking at my notes, 7.5 inches high and about 3.5 inches deep when it's fully kind of extended. Mine has slouched down a little bit so it looks narrower, but 3 to 3.5 inches wide here at the base. The weight of this one I've weighed, and empty it weighs 850 grams, or that is £1 14 ounces. So just shy of £2, just shy of a kilo. This one, which is a double flap, so it's got more leather, and I don't know if the actual construction of the lambskin makes a difference. If I was comparing a caviar double flap and a caviar single flap, I wonder if that would be different. If you've got, most people who've got the jumbo double flap, more people have the caviar than the lamb. I got the lamb because I wanted it to be, I mean it's the same bag, so I wanted it to be as different as possible. I didn't want it to be just gold hardware but caviar. I wanted it to be dressy, so I got the lamb. The weight of this one then, so the other one was 850 grams, this one is 1,160 grams, so it is 300 grams heavier. In pounds, that's £2 9 ounces, whereas the single flap is £1 14 ounces. So this is over 2.5 pounds in weight and over a kilo in weight. That one is just under £2 and 850. So it's considerably heavier. It feels heavier. I mean, holding it now and I'm like, whoa. Okay, other differences. There is a slight difference in the strap drop. It's only slight, but if you're either very tall or a bit chunky, strap drops on crossbodies, it can really make or break. So for example, I am in the market at the moment for a new crossbody bag from Louis Vuitton, and a lot of them don't work for me because the Eva strap is long enough for me. My vintagey Solange, which is, I've been using that for 2 weeks, so I'm loving it again. The straps are more than long enough in that they've got loads of adjustability from shoulder length right down. It seems to me that the current crop from loads of brands of crossbody bags are not long enough for me. They sit almost up on the waist, and I'm roughly the same size I've been for like 6 years. So I liked, whoa, good, throw your Chanel bag on the floor, Bee. So this one, I think that the chain is the same length. I don't think they've changed the manufacturer, but because the loops are like that, when you wear it crossbody, you are only losing that much chain from there to there. So therefore the chain is longer, and I shall hold them up side by side and you can see what I mean. With this one, you can obviously then, because they're front and back, not side by side, you don't take the outer, you're taking the bag from, you're taking the chain from a wider standpoint that way. If you see what I mean, from there to there, that makes sense, and it looks nice and neat on the top as well. If you do this one crossbody, you've got to choose whether you want the strap that sits on the top of the bag to be at the front of the back. For me personally, I think it looks better having the, what did I do the other day? I think having it at the back, yeah. So I do it like this, but everybody I guess is different. You could also have it like that so that you see some chain detail there. But that means that the bag like tips forward, I find, a little bit. So I do it like this. And you will see, at this level, that the bag sits slightly higher. This is the double flap, this is the single flap. It's only marginal, but it might make difference to you. So I'll just show you, excuse me, I'm in my like evening tracksuity clothes. This is the single flap on me crossbody, and this is the double. And the double sits a little bit higher, and the other thing is it's much boxier, it's much thicker this way, so it's sort of, I don't wear this one crossbody at all. To me it doesn't look quite right, but I do wear this one crossbody because it lies, it's softer and it lies more flat to the body. So that's something to consider. If you go and you can try this one on in the store, and you can try it crossbody and see if it's long enough for you, if you like the way it feels crossbody. I'm going to be honest with you, if you don't need it to be crossbody, I would consider the smaller one, whatever your size or frame, just because I find that really heavy. But anyway, this one, you're going to have to go into a vintage consignment shop or purchase this one online, either through if you're in a community that does private sales, or eBay or whatever. I'm not going to tell you where to go and look for them, because if it went wrong I'd feel really responsible. But there are pre-authenticated, reputable resellers like Yugi's Closet. What's it called? Oh, for God's sake, where Jerusha got hers. It'll come to me at the end. But you know, there are lots of like good resellers. Anyway, that's going to be your only option to get this, because they don't make it anymore, the single flap. So we've done the measurements. As I was saying, I found that the chain on this one, when it was just long, was 25, and that was 23 and a half, I think. So there's about 1.5 inches difference. Okay, so some visual differences. Apart from the weight and the strap, you can see that the double flap is a lot thicker at the top. This is partly because of the inner flap, which is propping up the top flap and providing some support. This one doesn't have that, so over time it's got nothing to stop it sort of crumpling on itself. And also, I think one thing that I haven't seen a lot of people mention in comparisons is these rivets, these holes are this way, so the bag can be quite slim. These, being front to back, also provide some width. Now, visually, I think the sort of chubbiness, if you like, the fatness of that at the top is more attractive. It looks plump, it looks well stuffed. The other thing I've noticed with friends of mine with their bags is that when you buy a lambskin bag, whether it's a single or a double flap, the lambskin flap has got more padding under the leather, I feel. So this is thicker. It's also new, so it will probably settle down over time. But even when this was new, this first flap was never very thick or has as much of that spongy stuff underneath. So although the caviar it's not as puffy, I don't think it's ever as puffy even when it's new. That's just my opinion. So they look quite different. Also, I'm just going to compare the interior for you. You've just got your caviar extends on the inside of the flap, and then down inside it becomes like the smooth leather, and it's just all black. There's no burgundy. You have a slip pocket and then a zip pocket. It's very simple. You only have one flap to deal with when you open it, which some people really prefer, and you have one big compartment. I think you therefore, in a weird way, have a bit more space, because there's no space taken up in here So you can stuff this height. You can see the daylight through there. You could put a scarf that comes right up to the top of this outer flap on the top of your items. With this one, oh, they both have the same flap on the back. The difference being the inside of this flap is burgundy, the inside of that flap is just black. So obviously you've got your secret compartment, that's different. I don't use that, except that's where my authenticity card lives. You've got this second flap, which again is providing support for the top flap. The top flap can't completely collapse down on itself over time. I mean, I physically can't do it because of these rings being spaced apart and because this flap is supporting that flap. I don't find, it's funny isn't it, different people find different things annoying. Jerusha was saying in her review of her twin set or comparison with the Métis, some people don't even like this action of having to raise a flip to look inside. I didn't even think about it before she said that. Like, I use the Solange, I've got loads of other kind of flap bags. To me, the way I open it, I never pop this popper because it's really hard to line it up anyway. I open the bag and I just open it like it's one flap. I just put my hand there and I open the whole thing. So I don't find this any problem. Visually, I find this way more exciting than the single flap to look at. Over the last few years, despite owning that single flap jumbo, which I love, don't get me wrong, I have been obsessing over everything to do with this bag, even down to its iconic dust bag. So if you buy a classic flap bag now, whatever size, you will get one of these white sort of microfiber bags, and you have a place for your chains to live up in here, and then you have the little beautiful little illustration of Coco by Karl Lagerfeld. Now, that little particular itch was satisfied because when I put this guy in for repair, I just took it in the store stuffed, and they said to me on the phone, don't bring the box or anything like that, so I didn't. And I was meeting up with the girls like Shabby and Trina in London, and I bought my GST, and at the same time I put this in and they did all those repairs that I said. When they FedExed it to my home, literally a week later, bless them, they had put it into the classic flap new style, proper flip box, all re-ribboned with the camellia and everything. They put the care booklet in, they put the chamois in. They had given me the new, where are you? Because these two are identical, I lose, excuse me, I get mixed up between the two boxes because they're the same. Yeah, they put me a new one, the felts. I didn't give them, I'd lost the felts. They gave me that one and that one. So they had packaged the bag as if it was a new piece that I bought, which I was really impressed with. Anyway, even though I had that bag, what was I saying? I had always just watched loads of videos and thought, oh, if I could go back in time, I'd get the double flap. To me, the double flap is more appealing visually, but this one is lighter and more comfortable to use. So it's about your priorities. I wouldn't describe myself as a collector, but I was always disappointed that this was the single flap. This is before I got this, and I wished I had the double flap because I freaking love burgundy. Like, not in the summer, but in the autumn and the winter, I just find it so rich and beautiful. I love the CC's stitched there. I loved that you get the 2 credit card things and the lipstick thing, and I like different pockets and stuff, and that you can put things down the back of this first flap. Gonna be honest, I got this piece and I was very excited because it was like a holy grail wish list item. If you know me from way back when, you will know that I had advertised this single flap for sale because I had decided that I could only have one jumbo or even one classic flap in my collection, and I wanted this one. So I was prepared to sell that one to get this. And then my husband said, what do you want as a sort of push present? Do you want jewellery? Do you want a bag? And I knew straight away that I wanted this. I'm really relieved that I never sold my single flap because It's got nostalgia attached to it. I cannot get it back, my one. So to me now, it's just not worth selling that. And I mean, a lot of people would think that I'm just nuts, especially my friends that aren't into bags. They don't understand why I would have these two. I feel for me, they've got very different purposes, despite looking so similar. This is vintagey. It's soft and slouchy. It's showing a few signs of wear in that it's got a bit of a slouch on. I'm not afraid to use it. It's quite casual. I crossbody it, and the silver hardware to me, it's weird because all my kind of quite expensive real going out jewellery is all white metal. So to me, if I was going to go out in the evening, weirdly, I would want an evening bag with silver hardware. But when it's on a bigger bag like my GST and this, I think the silver in a way is more casual. This one is when I want, it's big. To me, it's okay for a dinner bag or a lunch date bag, but I wouldn't go to, I mean, we don't really go to things like that. If I was going to a function like a ball or a kind of black tie thing, I would not take this. It is, in my view, too big. And for that reason, I would like to get a wok to use as a clutch. A black lambskin wok with silver hardware. I did want the boy wok, but I don't know now. Anyway, or a medium large with silver hardware. That will be my next Chanel purchase. I think there's a place to have the two jumbos, because by buying this new one and it being lamb and me having to be, I mean, I'm not scared of lambskin, but just to be a little bit more special with it. Like when I don't have the kids and I go shopping with a girlfriend, I'll take this one. And weirdly, having this in reserve for like best now means that I'm not afraid to wear this, and I wear it more and I love it. So it's okay for me that I've got two so similar. My mum was like, well, everybody was like, why didn't you get a smaller one? Or why didn't you get a bright red? Get something different from that one. But that's my favourite bag. It was ever since I got it. New bags would come into the collection. This was always the, ooh, get it out, it's the best. So now I have two, and they look to me like very different style bags, but that's because I'm a Chanel nut and you guys get it. It's plump and juicy, and the leather is just dreamy, but it is, once you're wearing it on the show, I mean, I'm holding it up to show to you, which is why I'm like, oh, I love it. Once I'm wearing it, it's fine, and the weight makes it just feel substantial. It doesn't sit as comfortably there because it's still quite new, and so it hasn't like relaxed a little bit, and that one is a lot thinner. It just tucks in more, but this one, you know, you see it is shorter. So I don't know, I hope that the things that I've said are concise enough and help you, because this video is really long, but I knew it would run to about 20 minutes. If there are any very particular questions that I haven't addressed, just put a comment down below and I'll answer you. The other thing to say is lambskin, you don't really have the squeaky chains, even though I've only worn this 4 times. I've had this one for, as I say, years, and it still have the squeaky, it's the caviar leather. I don't know why, but so I don't know if that's a factor, but that's another difference that I've noticed. I think that's all I have to say. I don't know how the gold and the silver hardware stand up over time. If one tarnishes more than the other, I don't know. I haven't got any tarnishing on my silver one, and I don't expect to get any tarnishing on that one for many years to come. What else? Yeah, if you buy, this is just a note on packaging. I don't have it anymore to show you, I threw it out, but if you buy a single flat bag from the pre-loved market, you will probably get, you may still get your camellia and your ribbon and your authenticity card. Personally, I would say that is a must buying pre-loved. That's just my opinion. People differ on that. But you will most likely get a black drawstring bag that is a sideways in bag where the drawstring is here, and you will get a box that looks not unlike a Chanel shoebox. A shiny box where the lower part of the box is either black or white, and you have a lid that goes on. The two things are separate. If you buy a pre-loved single flap, you will not get a magnetic flip-top box. The only reason mine comes like that is because it was refurbished by Chanel. So I don't think I have anything more to say. Just one last look. Oh, by the way, I had said, I think in another version of this video, that is important. I like to play with the length of the chains, and now I still do it on this one, but if I do that, and I attach something to keep those two together, I'm pressing the chains onto the other flap, see? So, let me explain. When I shut the bag, I'm going to get dents here because I'm trapping the chain in there. I do still do it, but I make sure that as soon as I get home, I undo it and stuff like that. If you like to make this into, I like making this into a handheld. It looks really cute. So what I do is I pull, because there's no other obstruction, there's no other flap. So I often will attach something that makes these tied together, and they're down in the bag. And then I can have it like that. Or just as a shoulder bag, but fitting like the medium large, like more closely under the arm, and I do that a lot. It's not as easy to do it with the double flap because, see, the chain is, that's a good shot, the chain will be like trapped inside this space. So if you want to play around with the length, I would say if you were going to get this newer version, go in the store and make sure you're happy with the length of the strap and you're happy with a bit, the shoulder drop on the strap between the jumbo and the medium large is massively different. It's not just a scaled down proportionately, it's more than that. So on me, that's the shoulder drop, but I've got big shoulders and arms. That's the shoulder drop on the jumbo, and the medium large on me is literally right, more than that even. It sits like right under my armpit, almost like that. So you have to see which is more comfortable. Some people like to put their arm down and like trap the bag and they feel more secure. I know that when I've been with Trina sometimes and she's wearing her GST, she likes to have her arm by her side and her bag kind of coming out the back. So everybody does it differently. So I hope this has been organised. I have tried to make this video a few times and was never happy with it. So then today I got another message asking me to do it, and I also saw Shabby and her friend Sally talking about the pros and cons in the Paris vlog, and I thought just do a video comparing the two and showing the two side by side. Again, they look pretty similar from the front, although this sort of looks, because the top flap sits up, this is quite floppy now, this one. This one sort of looks almost like it's a bit taller, but this one from the side is much thicker. It's up to you what you prefer. So those are my two Chanels. I don't, they both have pros and cons, but I love them both. I wouldn't be without either of them. And because it's my favourite style and size, I'm happy to have two that are pretty similar. So if you have any questions, please ask me, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everyone.